So we got some news out of Ionna today. And for those of you who don't know what Ionna is a public high-speed DC fast charging network that is going to be deployed here in North America. And it's founded by 8 of some of the largest automobile manufacturers in the world. They announced today that they've broken ground on their first Rechargery, and it's going to be in Apex, North Carolina. But the question is, what the heck is a Rechargery? Well, that's what I'm going to try to explain here today. And with that said, let's get into it. Okay, so first let's talk about who Ionna is. When Ionna announced that they were going to be building out this network, they initially said it was a partnership between 7 of the largest auto manufacturers in the world. And that was BMW, General Motors, Mercedes-Benz, Hyundai, Kia, Stellantis, and Honda. However, about 5 months after that announcement, which was early in 2024, Toyota joined. So now it's 8. We got Toyota, Honda, Stellantis, Kia, Hyundai, BMW, General Motors, and Mercedes all pouring their funds together to build out this high-speed DC fast charging network. And today's announcement basically says, look, we've started. We've broken ground on our first location. It's going to be in Apex, North Carolina, which happens to be very close to the company's headquarters, and it makes sense that that's where their first location would be. But we learned something here today that they're going to call their locations Rechargeries. It's a charging station. Do we need another name? Probably not. But you know what? They can call it whatever the heck they want to call it, as long as it's good and it's reliable, has good amenities, basically lives up to the hype. We all know that the existing networks that we have out there for DC fast charging haven't been perfect. Now, sometimes we're very hard on them here and complain that their chargers are broken, they're not maintained. But you know, one thing I have noticed, whenever I need to go somewhere, I always get there. So whether I have to use a second charger or go to another site, that's inconvenient, but the network currently works. We can go where we need to go for the most part. There's obviously some areas in the middle America where it's underserved. You can't go from point A to point B. But in most of the areas where the highest concentration of electric vehicles are in the country, there's enough DC fast chargers to get you where you want to go. That doesn't mean we don't need more. We need a lot more to make it really convenient. And don't forget, we're also at very low adoption rate with electric vehicles. That's going to continue to climb. So we need other players in here, in addition to the big guys like Electrify America and EVgo doing better at what they're doing. So I personally have a lot of hope that Ionna will be maybe a little bit better than what we have now. Well, why would they be any better? Well, they're coming in a little bit later in the game than some of the early movers, and they had the advantage of seeing what doesn't work. They're seeing the problems that the existing networks have, and out of the gate, being able to maybe leapfrog a lot of the initial growing pains. We don't know if that's going to happen, but there's the possibility it can. And I have talked to people at Ionna, and that is their intention, to be better. Words are cheap. Let's see the action. And now we finally have some action. We know where the first location is going to be. And don't forget, this network has promised 30,000 DC fast chargers by 2030. So in 5 years, they're planning on having 30,000 plugs out there. That's not 30,000 locations, it's 30,000 plugs. This specific location is going to have 10 bays. So I'm assuming it's 5 chargers. I asked for clarification. I didn't get that yet as of the time of this video, but I'm assuming it's 5 chargers because each charger has 2 cables and can serve 2 bays. They're going to have covered charging, and there's going to be a facility there, a little building, where you can get coffee, go to the bathroom, Wi-Fi, so you can either relax or maybe get some work done. There's going to be food and other beverages in addition to coffee. And it even has some outdoor seating, and it's pet friendly, they say. So this is going to be a nice hub to sit and relax while your vehicle is charging. Unlike some of the DC fast charge locations we have where they're pushed in the corner of parking lots, they don't get cleaned because it's like, you know, the business that owns the property doesn't even want to deal with the chargers that they put way out 500 feet from the building in the back of the parking lot. There's often debris and stuff there. This will be all maintained by Ionna. It's a self-contained site, so you would think that they'll keep it nicely cleaned and go out and fix the stations if there's ever any problems. They'll have employees on site, so they'll know immediately if something's not working. People are going to come in and say, look, station number 4 is not working. Which brings me to the equipment. Ionna hasn't announced what equipment they're going to be using yet. But in this press release, they said they're going to be 400 kilowatt DC fast chargers. Now, if you follow this channel, you see 2 weeks ago, I did a video on the new Alpatronic 400 kilowatt DC fast chargers. So Ionna hasn't announced who they're using yet, but that is definitely in play that they could be using the Alpatronic chargers. And I hope they do, because if you saw that video, I was very excited about the fact that these seem to be highly reliable and really well-built chargers. They're in service in different parts of the world, not here in the US yet. There's like one installed in the US, but they have incredibly high uptime and they're very easily serviceable. They're designed in a modular fashion, so the technician doesn't usually have to spend a lot of time on site. They can identify what the issue is, open the cabinet, pull the component out, slide the new component in, and leave. A typical service, if a charger is down, could be less than an hour. So that's something that I've been very upset with, how the networks that are currently in service have downtime on their chargers. Things are going to break. We know everything breaks, especially that this is kind of like the early days of EV charging equipment. These high-powered 350 kilowatt chargers, they haven't been in service for 20 years. We haven't had a chance to iron out the bugs. So I know they were going to break, but what bothered me is I think some of the existing networks take too long to fix them when they do break. I've been at sites where a charger's been down for 3 or 4 months, and that's just completely unacceptable, especially since we don't have enough of them. So I'm excited that Ionna might take us to that next level, and these Rechargeries seem like great ideas where you can, just go inside, use the restroom, have a coffee, relax. And I love the idea that it's being maintained by the company. It's not the network's equipment pushed to the back corner or the dark side of the property where, the Walmarts and the Targets, wherever the chargers are located, they don't really even care about what's going on out there. That's not their core business. They might send somebody out there once a week to sweep up or something like that. This will be a whole new game. Now, I don't know if all the Ionna sites are going to look like these Rechargeries. I don't know if that's what they're going to do everywhere. I'm going to try to get some clarification on that soon. I've been communicating with Ionna recently to try to get more information about what the company was doing, and they said, it's really soon. We're going to be talking a lot about what we're doing. If notice, there hasn't been much news about Ionna since they announced in February. They've been like radio silent. It's really hard to get information out of them, but I think we're going to start to get some information soon. I really want to try to find out what equipment they're using. My bet would be on the Alpatronic chargers, but it could be other equipment out there. We'll see. There was also another tidbit of news on the personnel front with this press release. And that was that the company has announced that Jackie Slope will be the new Chief Technology Officer. From the press release, it says, Jackie comes to Ionna with over 15 years experience in sports and entertainment, where she held multiple leadership roles, spearheading customer experience at iconic properties, including Crypto.com Arena and Madison Square Garden. Jackie will oversee the strategic deployment of hardware, software, and experiential technologies, building out processes to enable a frictionless customer experience. And Jackie said about this announcement, I'm excited to join the Ionna family. Having spent my career raising the bar around the customer experience, I am excited to find ways to innovate and elevate the charging experience by serving the customer above all else in this new and exciting industry. State of Charge is powered by Qmerit. After I've helped you decide which electric vehicle charging equipment you're going to buy, follow the link in the description of my videos and let the EV charging installation professionals at Qmerit install it. And we also learned in the press release that this first site is actually a repurposed gas station. And I'm reading here from the press release. A symbolic first. Ionna's initial Rechargery will be in the historic district of a quintessential American town built around a railroad steam engine refill pond, which the workers called Apex, a name that lives to this day. In keeping with the town's evolving transportation routes, almost 100 years after one of Apex's first gas stations opened to the community, Ionna will restore the building and its land to bring the apex of charging to the peak of good living, the town's present-day motto. All right, well, that's pretty much all that was in the press release. I'm excited to finally get some news. Rechargery, it's a charging station. Call it whatever you want. Just make sure the chargers work. You keep the site clean. The amenities inside are nice and comfortable, and I'll be happy. Oh yeah, and install like thousands of these sites as fast as possible. Ionna has said they're going to have 30,000 plugs in the ground by 2030. That's 5 years away. And if they do hit that goal, they're going to be installing them at a breakneck pace. Now, this is something that I had hoped would happen. And that was a bunch of OEMs get together and just throw a ton of money in a pot, hopefully give it to smart people to manage the business. I know Seth Cutler, the CEO, knows this industry, so I have a lot of confidence in him spearheading this. But, you know, there's been other smart people at the helm of these DC fast charging networks, and they didn't work out well. Let's hope Seth and Ionna benefit from the fact that they're coming in a little bit later and they've learned from other people's mistakes. Listen, if this is your first time here at State of Charge, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming electric vehicle news and reviews. And as always, thanks for watching.